There's something strange about trading. When people win, they talk. When people lose, they disappear. Not because they don't have something to say, but because they don't know how to say it. And if you've ever closed a losing trade, sat back in your chair, and decided to tell no one, this video is for you. Losses don't usually explode. They land quietly. You close the trade. The chart keeps moving. The room stays the same. But something inside you tightens. You don't reach for your phone. You don't open Discord. You don't post the screenshot. You just sit there, carrying it alone. A losing trade isn't just a number. It feels like evidence. Evidence that you missed something, that you misread the market, that maybe you're not as capable as you thought. And once it feels personal, talking about it feels dangerous. Because now you're not sharing a trade, you're exposing yourself. Nobody tells you this, but there's an unspoken rule online. Wins are proof, losses are weakness. Scroll any trading feed and you'll see it. Green screenshots, percentages, confidence. What you don't see, the hesitation before entry, the doubt during drawdown, the trades quietly closed in frustration. So you learn to stay quiet. Most traders don't hide losses because they failed, they hide them because of shame. Shame says, you should know better. You've been doing this long enough. You shouldn't still be here. And shame doesn't ask to be discussed. It demands silence. Here's the real conflict. You don't want to be a trader who loses. You want to be a trader who's improving. So when a loss happens, it doesn't match the story you're telling yourself. And instead of rewriting the story, you hide the page. Notice what happens when someone asks, "How was trading today?" You say, "Yeah, fine. Nothing special. Just a normal day," even if it wasn't. Because explaining a loss means reliving it, explaining the decision, explaining the mistake. And some days you don't have the energy to do that. Losses don't feel neutral. They feel like going backwards. Even if you followed your plan, even if the setup was valid, even if the risk was controlled. The emotional mind doesn't care. It says you were closer yesterday than you are today. And that makes talking feel pointless. You're not just afraid of judgment from others. You're afraid of confirming your own doubts. Because once you say it out loud, once you hear yourself admit it, it feels more real. And sometimes silence feels safer than honesty. Trading is already solitary. No co-workers, no shared outcomes, no collective responsibility. When you lose, it's just you. And when you don't talk about it, that isolation deepens. Not dramatically, not obviously, quietly. Wins are simple. They validate the effort. They justify the time. They silence doubt. Sharing a win feels like closure. Sharing a loss feels unfinished, like a question with no clean answer. So the mind avoids it. But here's the part nobody warns you about. Silence doesn't make losses disappear. It makes them linger. Unspoken losses replay. They show up later, in hesitation, in overconfidence, in trades that don't feel clean. What you don't process, you carry. You don't talk about losses because you think you need solutions first. But most losses don't need fixing. They need air. They need to be acknowledged, without explanation, without justification, without performance. Just honesty. Here's something professionals understand. Losses are information, not identity. They talk about them plainly, without drama, without self-attack. Not to feel better, but to stay clear. Silence is emotional. Clarity is operational. The moment trading gets lighter isn't when you stop losing. It's when losses stop defining you. When you can say, "I lost today," not "I failed today." That shift changes everything. If you're watching this, chances are you've had losses you never spoke about. Trades you closed quietly, days you carried alone, doubt you never voiced. This isn't weakness, it's human. Losses don't mean you're behind, they mean you're in the process. Every trader who stayed long enough went through periods like this: quiet, uncertain, self contained. The ones who survived weren't louder, they were more honest with themselves. You don't need to broadcast your losses, you just need to stop hiding them from yourself. Journal them, speak them privately, name them without judgment. That's how they lose power. There's a strange relief that comes when you stop pretending every day has to be good. When you allow trading to be what it is, uncertain, imperfect, uncomfortable, that's when confidence becomes real. You don't talk about your losses because you care, because this matters to you, because you're trying. But silence isn't strength, endurance is. And the traders who last aren't the ones who never lose. They're the ones who learn how to carry loss without letting it carry them.